Jungkook was on a phone call with a doctor, standing in front of his wife, holding her hand. While she looked quite disturbed, she threw out 4 times in a row, and now felt quite weak. Jungkook gave her medicine, but it didn't work either. He was extremely careful about her since she was 4 months pregnant. Once he was done with the call, he took a seat beside her and wrapped his arm around her. He moved her in his embrace so her weight was completely relying on him. Jungkook, doctor will be here soon. Wine, I can tell by the way you threatened him, she said lazily, mustering up her strength, which was lost after throwing out so much, and her head was aching like hell. Once the doctor arrived, he checked wine and attached an IV tube to her. Jungkook stayed beside her all the time. He questioned himself. Was he not taking enough care of her? Doctor told him it sometimes happens with women, and that's why they need extra care. Jungkook left to escort the doctor out before making sure she was comfortable in her bed. Wine looked at the drip, and the flow was extremely slow. It was going to take hours, and she already wanted it out of her body. It had started to make her upset, but there was nothing she could do. She also didn't like how the room was now full with the hospital smell, and she knew so well her husband was sensitive to smell. When the door opened, Jungkook came in holding a big bucket of flowers. It alone was enough to bring a smile to her face. He always knew how to fix her mood. He came forward and placed the flowers in her arm. She sniffed them before thanking him. He took a seat beside her, brushing fingers through her hair. Vian, will you be alright? It's going to take some time, and the room smells. Jungkook, I'll turn on the diffuser and lit up the scented candles. I'm fine. I just want you to be fine too. Jungkook, just get well already. I can't see you like this. She smiled lazily, and he stood up, working on the candles and diffusers. When he was done, he laid down beside her. He turned on a movie so he kept her busy, kept his one arm around her, and brushed her hair. Wine slept soon enough, but he stayed awake till her drip didn't finish and he didn't free her hand from the painful needle. The next morning, Jungkook tried a lot to convince her to let him stay home and look over her. She told him she was fine and he shall go to his office and not worry about her. He texted a lot in between, after almost every half an hour, like an alarm repeating, asking her if she was fine or if she needed something. She laughed finding him way too adorable. She was also really grateful for having him as her husband. Wine. Martha, she called her personal maid, Jungkook appointed to be by her side all the time, unless she wanted some time alone. Wine. I want to go out for a walk. Will you accompany me? Martha. To a park? Wine nodded, and Martha went to grab her medicine. They had a huge garden spread out through a long distance, but Wine sometimes preferred parks. Seeing people taking out time from their lives to have a little peace in their life. When she reached the park, Wine and Martha had a walk while talking about random things. It had been a good 20 minutes when they stopped before a fountain. Martha, you should sit down for a while. Wine, yeah, just a moment. She stayed there beside the fountain and suddenly heard a familiar voice, a voice she didn't admire too much. Wine, let's just go. She turned around, not in the mood to stay there anymore. But suddenly, the voice owner stopped before her, blocking her way. Ah, look, who is here? Sophia mocked and crossed her arms. She was dressed as if she came straight from a runway. Who wear heels in a park? She was wearing black and white clothes with chains attached for design, and her Gucci bag screamed wealth that most definitely didn't belong to her. Probably a sugar daddy, but Wine couldn't care any less. She was accompanied by a friend who also rolled her eyes at Wine, as if she did a crime. Wine, let's go, Martha. She took a step away, clearly wanting to keep her child away from such people. But Sophia blocked her way again. Wine sometimes faced strong mood swings. A little something, which was not according to her, would make her so mad. Like right now, she simply wanted to pull Sophia's hair till not a single strand was left attached to her scalp. Wine, leave my way. Sophia, says the one who got in my way and stole my man. Wine, he's not a brainless piece or a thing. He can make his own decisions. Sophia, yeah, only if you didn't play witch and took his ability to think straight. Wine, did you just call me amazing? Oh, thank you. She mocked. God, she was extremely angry, but she controlled it. She knew it was because of her pregnancy, and she was going to feel bad later for treating someone wrongly. So she controlled, but she really wanted Sophia to be out of her sight. She was a gold digger who ended up with Jungkook. He used to stay quite busy in his work to notice what was going on. Until One day Wine accidentally came in front of his car. He took her to hospital for the minor injury she got on her arm. They met a few more times on complete coincidence. She was the person who made Jungkook realize what true attraction and affection means. What he had with Sophia was nothing but formality of having a woman up your arm to accompany you to formal events. He fell for Ryan first, and he fell so hard that there was no way out. Martha stepped aside and informed Jungkook she didn't want anything bad to happen, and Sophia clearly held enough grudge against Ryan. Ryan, leave my way before I call the security. Sophia, try it. She was angry. The mox worked on her, and she pushed Ryan before pulling onto her hair. Ryan winced, trying to free herself. The huge fountain was blocking her from the public, so no one was able to come and help her. Her motherly instinct woke up, and she pushed Sophia very strongly. It made her fall down, and her precious bag got dirty, which made her scream in fury. Sophia, how dare you? Do you know how expensive it is? Of course, she don't. Someone who steals others' man and feed on their money can't know these things, her friend said as she helped Sophia up. Didn't sound nice coming out of a gold digger herself. Martha came back and stood in front of Ryan to keep her away from the illiterate ladies. Sophia kicked her with her heel, making her wince and kneel in pain. Ryan gasped and tried to hold Martha, but Sophia angrily pushed her. She fell in the fountain. The marble injured her, and her head spun due to pain. She landed on belly, which had a strong effect on her, and it started to pain a lot. She cried out in pain, and Martha forgot her own and ran to Ryan, which she looked like in a sensitive condition. Martha, Jungkook is going to kill you. To be continued.